To hear more about the importance of giving and spending, we have a very short video by one of our blessed scholars right here in the US, Sheikh Abdul Nasir Jangda, who happens to be an instructor for Bayina Institute and the founder of Qalam Institute as well. So we're going to hear, inshallah, now a brief video about giving and spending in Ramadan from Sheikh Abdul Nasir Jangda.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, إِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. That this ummah of yours, this is one singular ummah. What's very interesting about this ayah of the Quran, when Allah says, إِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً, that most definitely this ummah of yours is an ummah. The word ummatan already means one ummah. But then Allah says, wahidatan on top of it. Why? To emphasize our solidarity, our singularity. That we are only one and one singular ummah. We are only and only one singular ummah. وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. And Allah says, and I am your Lord, so worship me. Dedicate and devote yourselves to me. That is what binds us and connects us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran tells us that إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. Most definitely all the believing men and women are brothers and sisters. And what's very interesting, the word that Allah uses is ikhwatun. Not ikhwan, but ikhwatun. The word ikhwan in the Arabic language means brothers and sisters figuratively. The word ikhwatun means brothers and sisters biologically. But Allah borrows this word and figuratively uses this word here. Why? To emphasize what the relationship of the believers amongst themselves must be. That my sentiment, my dedication, my care, my concern for my brothers and sisters across this planet should be at the level of my concern and my love that I have for my own biological sibling. Just as disturbed I would be by the suffering of my own blood brother, I should be just as disturbed by the suffering of my Muslim brothers and sisters all across this planet. The Prophet of Allah ﷺ gave such an unbelievable, beautiful example. He said that the believers كَجَسَدٍ وَاحِدٍ, they are like one body. إِذَا اشْتَكَى بَعْضُهُ اشْتَكَى كُلُّهُ. When a part of the body suffers, all of the body compensates for it. I'll tell you a beautiful story about this, when this hadith made sense to me. A good friend of mine was complaining of back pain. This is a young, athletic, healthy person. He was complaining of back pain. So I told him to go see a doctor. Go get some medical expert advice. Go get checked up. When he went and saw the doctor and got the results and went in for the follow-up, and then I met him, I talked to him, I asked him what happened. He said that I have a problem in my leg. The doctor has diagnosed as saying I have a problem in my leg. I said, what kind of a doctor did you go to? Your back hurts. Does your leg hurt? No. Has your leg ever hurt? No. What hurts? My back. So then why is he saying that there's a problem in your leg? He told me that there's a problem in my leg and my back has been overcompensating for the leg so that the leg does not feel the pain, that now the back is aching. I said, subhanallah, that hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and the prophetic wisdom of the Prophet ﷺ made sense to me at that time. That the Prophet ﷺ is saying that the ummah is meant to be one body like this. That when one part of the ummah suffers, goes through adversity and difficulty and tragedy, the other part of the ummah is supposed to come to its rescue. The other part of the ummah is supposed to be willing to take on hardship and difficulty and adversity to alleviate the suffering of the other part of the ummah. That is what we were meant to be. Today there are Muslims suffering all across the planet. There are people suffering in Africa. There are people suffering in Syria. All four corners of the world there are people suffering. And they have a right upon us by virtue of being our believer, our family in faith and iman. They are our brothers and sisters in iman and faith. And it is our obligation, it is our responsibility to try to help them and serve them. I talked earlier about that Allah specifically said that the believers in faith should be at the level, their love, their concern for one another, their compassion for each other should be like that of biological siblings. Ask yourself, that if I should ask myself, that if my own biological brother or sister, my blood brother or sister was going through difficulty, tragedy, at a fraction of the level of what Muslims are going through across this world today, how concerned would I be? How rattled would I be? How nerve-wracked would I be? And what would I be willing to do to help them in that situation? And now let me ask, how troubled am I by the suffering and the plight of Muslims across this world today? Based off of that, Helping Hands is requesting you today to give something, to donate something. And let's take the spirit of the month of Ramadan into consideration. Let's not give what is convenient. Let's not give what is easy. Let's make ourselves uncomfortable. Let's make ourselves uncomfortable. If my brother called me in the middle of the night telling me he was suffering, I would give up my sleep, I would give up my comfort, and I would go to great lengths to be able to help him out. Let me discomfort myself. We are sitting in our comfortable homes that are air conditioned, sitting in comfortable chairs, walking on soft carpets, watching this on a very nice, beautiful computer or a beautiful screen or television, eating luxurious forms of food. We will sleep in our comfortable beds. Let's discomfort ourselves just for a little bit. Let's make a little bit more of a sacrifice. Let's feel the pinch today, just a little bit, to remind ourselves that we are believers, to remind ourselves that we are brothers and sisters. So give today, and give generously, and give in the spirit of Iman. Give based on the spirit of the month of Ramadan, and give from a place of brotherhood and sisterhood. Give from love. Give out of compassion. Give out of concern and care for your Muslim brother and sister. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. I pray and I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts this donation and this generosity and this giving from us in this blessed month of Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of us finding peace and tranquility in this life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of a peaceful departure from this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of ease and comfort and rest in our graves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of our forgiveness on the Day of Judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of our entrance into the gardens of paradise without any accounting, without any reckoning for all of eternity. May Allah make this a means of us receiving the pleasure of Almighty Allah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of us being able to see the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the gardens of paradise. I pray and I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts from all of us. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.